I counted you down. Oh, we're
Hello,
starting.
hello, Stevie. Come on, man. Hello, 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 and welcome to the new podcast where me and my friend here are going to talk about. Technically, it's just about stuff I like, but we're starting out with this particular topic, and that topic is How I Met Your Mother. So, with me, as he often is and henceforth will be, is my friend Stevie. And Stevie, I'm going to teach you how to live.
Oh boy. You see, that's something that a guy says in the episode that we watched just
In the
now.
show. Yeah, great job. Make it a Stevie. Anyway, if you don't know us and you don't know what's going on, welcome to I'm going to teach you how to live, where I introduce Stevie to stuff. He doesn't know a lot of stuff, so I'm going to introduce him to good stuff. I'm going to teach him how to live,
Yeah.
like the name of the podcast. Oh my god, it's like the name of the show.
They said the thing.
So, here's the thing. So, we're starting off the entire shindig with How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother is a television show. It is actually my favorite television show, fun fact, like of all time. And I've watched a lot of sitcoms, and other stuff. Sure, sitcoms, among other things. and, we're gonna talk about stuff that we like, that I like throughout the show. Because the show is about stuff I like, we're gonna talk about this. Um, and so let's talk about it.
Oh boy.
How I Met Your Mother was a 2005, it starts in 2005, television show, situational comedy about Ted Mosby and his friends in New York. It tells the story of the premise is that Ted Mosby, in the year 2030, so 25 years prior to the present, quote unquote, of the story, um, 2030 Ted is telling his two children about how he met their mother. Unfortunately, Ted is very verbose, so we got 9 seasons. Let me say that again. 9 seasons and 208 episodes.
I'm wondering just how
Uh,
often it's gonna cut back to the kids being like, "You did what?" throughout the entire
you'll
nine
see.
seasons of the show.
Yeah, it's pretty. They show up every once in a while, but so one thing that um is also happening in the background of this is that Stevie's watching this TV show for the first time as we are talking about it. I'm not explaining the show to him. It is he is watching it, and then we're doing the podcast. So that'll be interesting, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, today we are talking about the very first episode,
It's called the
and
pilot.
it is it
Yeah. Said so on the website.
what website?
The website we watched it on.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Marshall versus the machines. Sorry. Um. Okay, so not every episode has a synopsis on Wikipedia. So in How I Met Your Mother, the first episode follows Ted as he starts his story. He talks about, he's 27, living in New York City, uh, and the main like driving force that really like the main event that kicks off the start of the series is his best friend Marshall, a second year law student at Columbia University, which isn't said until later, but you know I'm gonna
I'm
say it anyway.
learning.
You're learning, yeah.
Spoilers.
Jesus Christ. So, Marshall proposes to his longtime girlfriend Lily, and Ted, feeling a bit, left out in his single life, consults his friend Barney, who is just a strange cookie, a bit of a womanizer, always wearing a suit. He's very interesting. So he goes to talk to Barney, and Barney, in all of his strangeness, uh, and let me explain Barney. One of my favorite scenes in this first episode is we get to see Barney and Ted meet in like the past, and we learn that Barney and Ted met at a urinal, and then Barney just like went up to him in the bar and was like, "Ted, I'm gonna teach you how to live," and then just started dispensing advice, and that suggests that like that started the rest of the show, like the rest of their friendship was based off of that, which is very funny.
Hmm.
You know, so Barney, you know, does his thing. They play a little game that I like to call "Have you met Ted?" And he ends up talking to someone, but later he, from across the bar while talking to Barney, he sees a beautiful woman who Barney introduces him to. Him and this woman hit it off. She is a reporter for Metro News One, and they have a little what's the word, tete-a-tete, a little conversation. They hit it off, and they end up setting a date. And on this date, they go to a fancy restaurant, and Ted finds out that she is like pretty much his perfect woman. She likes dog. She has 5 dogs. He wants a woman that likes dogs. He likes a woman that drinks scotch. She likes scotch, etc., etc., etc. And to cap it all off, during the uh, you know, date within the restaurant, there was a blue French horn, which Ted likened to a Smurf penis. And let me give you some advice, Stevie.
Yeah.
Stevie, let me give
Yeah.
you some advice. If you're ever out on a date, don't say the word Smurf penis.
I'm doing
Most
it.
women don't like that, but this woman was different. Uh, she laughs, and Ted's like, "Oh, she's the one." And they go back to her place because of the olive theory, which states
Oh,
that a relationship works best if one person likes olives and the other doesn't. And so she invites him upstairs for olives, a jar of olives. And they go up, and things get a little frisky. And as they are flirting, um, Ted really, you
he
know,
really goofs
goes
it.
for he really goofs it. This massive donger Ted Mosby tells her that the woman that he was in love with her, which also not great at all. And she uh rightfully freaks out. Oh wait, I completely skipped a part. They went up. Ted, wait, no. No, she had to go do something, and then he went back to the apartment.
Yeah.
He left, and then his friends were like, "Hey, you should have kissed her," and he was like, "No," and so they went back, and then this happens. Is Ted goes up to her apartment, they start flirting, and then the whole thing. Why didn't you say anything?
I thought you were just. I thought you were being brief.
I guess. Anyway, so she rightfully freaks out. He leaves with a jar of olives, and accidentally misses a whole other signal where he should have kissed her, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And um, then he goes back to his friends and is like, "Well, I should have kissed her, but who knows if I'll see her again." But then, as he's talking to his children, because Bob Saget playing older Ted as the narrator, tells his kids, "But actually, I did see her again because that, Stevie, is how he met Robin." So that's not even the mother. We went this entire episode, and it wasn't even the mother.
And that's how I
Can you
met
fucking believe
your
that?
Aunt Robin. Yeah.
Yeah. Even refers to her as Aunt Robin, which is, I mean, you'll see how weird that gets later, but it's pretty funny. It's a good bait and switch, I think, because you're like, oh man, they're getting real close. I bet they're gonna, you know,
Make a couple children.
yeah. You think, oh, these two are gonna. It is on like Azerbaijan,
Yeah.
and it is not, and that is not the mother. So it's a good bait and switch.
Yep.
But there is a B plot, as there often is. So the B plot is again Marshall and Lily, who are Ted's friends. They are getting married. They're getting engaged. They get engaged, and during the engagement, it's a real cute moment. We find, they kind of have a gag of open a bottle of champagne, and Lily's just like, "Come on, man." But eventually he proposes. He proposes. She says yes. They have sex on the kitchen floor. Don't have sex on the kitchen floor, but they did.
Yucky.
So did you know there's a Pop Tart under the fridge? No, but dibs. Oh man, that cracks me up. Anyway, so after they get it on, due to the engagement, uh, Marshall's like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get the champagne, and then he does it, but Lily gets up and he accidentally gets her in the eye with a cork. So for like most of the rest of the episode, she's wearing an eye patch. It's pretty funny.
I didn't actually catch that that was the reason why she was wearing an eye patch.
You think she just wore an eye patch for fun?
I was like, oh, I guess she just has some eye condition. I guess that's part of her character.
He popped the champagne. She screamed off screen. What? You didn't connect that?
I don't connect anything for like the first episode of something. I don't know. I couldn't tell which character was which for the first 5 minutes. That's how I am.
Okay, well, as we got deeper into the episode, they talk to Ted about Robin, and then on their way, they break down the olive theory. On their first date, um, Lily asked for Marshall's olives from his salad, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I hate olives." And so that's where that theory comes from. Is he doesn't like olives, Lily does like olives, so it's real cute. Yeah, they're cute or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. Uh, so yeah, it's real cute. Anyway, so when they take Ted, because everyone goes with Ted to ow, chicka, wow, wow, with Robin, they just like wait in
Whoa.
the car with everyone's favorite character, Ranjit. Everyone loves Ranjit.
Yeah.
But so they go, and Ranjit is just this taxi driver. Like that is his whole thing, is that he drives a taxi. Uh, which is pretty funny because he is like a recurring character. You will see him again.
Oh, okay, yeah. He did hang out with them at the bar later, which
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah,
quite funny. Humorous, even.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, humorous even. Anyway, so they're in the car and Lily leaves because Barney is being strange, and he turns to Marshall and he's like, "So the olive theory, you hate olives, Lily loves." 2 weeks ago, Spanish bar on 67th, plate of olives. You had some. What up? And so Marshall has to admit that he was actually just he does like olives, and he just doesn't eat them because of the whole. He was 18 and a girl liked him, so he was like, "Oh, I hate olives," so that she could have some. And and Barney's like, "Well, you shouldn't get married. You should spread your wings and get with other women." And Marshall has this little monologue where he talks about how he loves Lily, and it's really nice and really sweet. And you get this classic trope of Lily standing right behind him as he's saying all this, and it's cute.
Yeah.
And so they go to the bar because Ted tedded it up with Robin, and they go to the bar. They're all hanging out. Ranjit's there, and at the end, Marshall gets the champagne for everyone, and they give a toast to one hell of a night, you
Yeah.
know. And that's really, I mean, that's really it. Is there anything else you can think to say about the little?
Of like the summary?
Yeah.
Uh, no, just sort of the thoughts that I wrote down in general that are more specific.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let me. So as someone, here's my thing is as we will learn, I really don't have anything negative to say about How I Met Your Mother. I love this show. So a lot of the what did you think is gonna be up to you in a lot of ways.
Oh man.
You know, not to say that I'm not gonna have stuff to say, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as I say that, what do you think? What do you think of this episode?
Immediately, the first like 5 seconds where he's just like narrating to his children, he's like, "It's gonna be a long story," and they're like, "Oh, whatever." Like,
Are we getting punished for something?
yeah,
No, no, listen.
it made me think like throughout the last few years, I've seen a lot of like TikTok parodies of sitcoms where they're like over exaggerating that sort of thing. And I just haven't seen any sitcoms. And I was like, oh my God, it's real. They actually do talk like that.
They do. That's the thing is it's part of the conceit. They're talking to their dudes, their kids.
I found that
You feel me?
entertaining.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of like the old like, oh, this is the joke. This is all they. Very often incorrect, but sometimes I do see those videos and it's just spot on of like, "Ah, that is what the show is. God damn it. Um.
They like uh crossed their arms and made a mad face, and then the audience laughed.
Okay, I don't know about that. That one's not as true.
I don't know.
Also, I will say it. I'm actually a fan of laugh tracks. Mostly just because, not because I need to be told when to laugh. I I think as you learn during the show, I know when to laugh. Or as we watched this first episode, I was kind of, I was giggling at the jokes and shit.
Yeah,
And one thing I will say is it's not really it's I understand. I know what your frame of reference for sitcoms is. It's the Big Bang Theory because your mom fucking loves the Big Bang Theory.
it's actually more like a fucking like Jesse on Disney. That's Good Luck
Oh, Jesus
Charlie. I
Christ.
watched stuff like that when I was a kid, and I
Okay, that's even worse. Well, I say that I was watching this as a kid, so
like my mom does love Big Bang Theory, but I've never watched it with her.
so your frame of reference is still pretty like joke, funny face, laugh track,
Yeah,
you know?
probably. I don't remember a
Whereas
thing.
I'm just saying Big Bang Theory is a pretty bad offender of the says a joke, goofy face, laugh track.
I'm into it, like
And
half ironically, half sincerely. It's just awful.
I do
It's a
like the
little
Big Bang Theory.
absurd.
I do like the Big Bang Theory, but I will say How I Met Your Mother doesn't really do that. There's a lot more. Here's the thing: is for all it's worth. or for what it's worth, The Big Bang Theory, as much as it would like to, doesn't have a lot of drama. There are sad moments, but they seem, they kind of pale in comparison to shows like this,
Hmm.
where the drama is like a big. I think the main conceit of the show is that Ted is trying to find love. He's very lovelorn. He has a dream of having someone, and a large part of it is him failing to get that over the years that this show takes place. Because again, this show ran for 9 years.
Is he
So if
just
they had,
telling his kids about all the women he's dated
oh yeah, it's
before
gonna
the
get
mom?
really funny later when he's like talking about like getting it on,
Oh
and it's just
no.
like, hey Ted, you're telling your children this.
Scary.
Granted, granted, and I know he's gonna be watching this, so I can say this. My dad used to do that. He didn't like sit me down and tell me how. I still don't know how he met my mom, to be completely honest. But I know that if I asked him, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I was at a bar," and then he would tell me about some fucking wild shenanigans that he was in.
Hello,
But
Blues Dad.
but anyway, um, yeah, as maybe that's why like what's the word? It's just normal to me to have adult people be going like, "Yeah, back when I was a kid, I was when I was drinking and shit." It's like, oh okay.
Hmm.
But yeah, the show, it really does its drama well. Things have consequences. And while sometimes it may not seem like they will, they will. There's a lot of episodes, there's ongoing arcs. There's the slap bet, there's Barney's dad. It's just I mean, obviously I can't tell you, but you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll get it eventually.
I don't think I
And
know
it's going to be
either of those two things you just said.
yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the point.
Just making sure I'm in the clear of what I know that I don't know, and that
You
I'm
should
not
you should know nothing
accidentally
except for what is
not
in this.
making sure
Yeah,
that
I
I
mean they
don't
never
like
talked about a
accidentally
slap bet,
not
did
know
they?
what I should know.
No, you have a very it's very on purpose that you have a baseline knowledge. That's the whole premise of the podcast, and
Yeah.
is that I'm showing you cool shit. And so you just haven't seen it yet. So no, you're fine. If you don't know something, it's probably on purpose.
Well, no,
But
either
anyway,
that or it's
there's a lot
because
of
it happened in the episode I just watched and then I forgot it. That's the
oh
thing
no,
I'm
you'll
concerned
know when it's
about.
slap bet time. You'll know when it's slap bet time.
Okay.
You'll know. They'll all know.
Ugh.
And it's gonna be legend. Wait for it. Anyway, so yeah, keep
Oh,
going
I
with your
waited
thoughts.
for
Keep
it.
going with your thoughts on this. Keep going with your thoughts on this one.
Okay. Um, okay. A big point was like the signal, like when
Yeah,
Ted and Robin were alone together, you know, telling the story back to his friends later, he's all like, "Oh, I couldn't kiss her. She didn't give me the signal. The signal." They're all like, "What's the signal? What, she's gonna blink at you in Morse code?" And like
Ted,
that's so
kiss me. No.
maybe I'm just a huge autistic turbo virgin, but like why
You are.
not just ask for consent? Why not just
Yeah. Well, again, one thing that we will get into more as the show 2005.
yeah,
Things were much different back in the old times. This show came out the year after I was born. So that's what I need you to understand.
this show came out
Is
the
we
year I
have
was
different
born.
standards. We have different standards than the show has.
Yeah.
Especially like specifically you and I, because you know we are very different people.
It's shocking in ways that I
Uh,
find entertaining, so that's fine.
yeah, you'll see. But yeah, so the signal, go on.
Well, that's pretty much it. Just like It feels
Those are the
neurotypical for that to be a whole plot point.
go on past that point. What else do you have to say?
Um, okay, here's something I wrote. I like that Lily and Marshall's love persists through hardships. In parentheses, Marshall likes olives.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a very strong point. Is like I think a part of that is they had to like be like, yes, these two people love each other. It's really cute.
Yeah, I'm charmed. I feel like I've said that like 5 times.
No, you're fine
Okay.
for now. But so do you have anything else specific?
Um, oh, the part where um Marshall asks Lily to marry him. It was like a split screen where the narrator was like,
Yeah,
one of these questions you ask after like years of consideration, and one of them you ask half drunk on a whim. Marshall was like, "Will you marry me?" to his fiance, and Ted
Lily.
was like, "Want to go out sometime?" to a girl who just ends up not even doing anything or ends up rejecting
Yeah,
him. Like I thought that was cute.
yeah. That's kind of a classic sitcom trope, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
The classics are classics for a reason, you know.
Yep. I feel like
Also, her
I'm.
name is Lily.
I know. I
You do have to know the character's name, Stevie.
I do know them.
Anything
I'm
else
getting
specific?
acquainted. Barney kissed Marshall one time.
Yeah, you did. Wow, wow. Uh, so this. If you don't, do you have any other like specific things that you wrote down?
Um. Oh yeah, I'm kind of contradictory about the signal thing because there was a time where she definitely did give him the signal, like she was looking into his
The
eyes for a
long,
solid two
lingering, yeah.
seconds, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna kiss now." And then it cut to
And then they
him
don't.
being like, "And then we might never see each other again." That was it. That was the whole night, and everyone was like,
Yeah.
"What? What? That was it? You should have kissed her." And I was like, "Shit, yeah, I agree with that."
Anything else?
Smurf penis.
Okay, Stevie.
Barney is funny. Him and Ted are similar to us, sorta, and he has a
Yeah.
blog. This is
So
going in my
one thing.
blog.
This is so going in my blog. One thing that I kind of told Stevie going in is I kind of get some mannerisms from How I Met Your Mother. Um, and it's gonna be very funny to watch Stevie go like, "Oh, what? That's not just you." I think it's gonna be funny, just having him be like, "What? That's something you said." I'm like, "Yup,
I've been getting
it
that while
sure is
reading Homestuck.
horrible."
There was one
Go
page
on.
where someone was like, uh, you're glad it doesn't have to be a federal fucking issue. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Ooh, I just fucked up my water bottle. Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I get stuff from TV shows. Anything else specific?
there's a slight bit of racism. I don't
What?
know.
How is it racist to say that you're into
The
half
fetishization.
Lebanese girls? Lebanese are the new half Asians, Stevie. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's just an odd thing to say.
They're
But
the
like
new
you
half
said,
Asians,
different
Stevie.
standards.
Yeah. And I'm very forgiving of these sorts of things. I think you know this about me.
Yeah,
Is different times,
I laugh, but
different
I
standards.
also shake my
Yeah.
head
You
so
could
that everyone knows
yeah,
that I
yeah.
disapprove.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. You don't have to agree with it. You just have it's
Yeah,
not worth shitting your pants over.
sometimes media is like, there are flaws, and you gotta look like you know that they're there, but you're able to enjoy other aspects of it. Like,
Yeah,
absolutely nothing is perfect. I don't think there's a single
that's
thing
one
that is
that's one
completely
fear I
unproblematic.
had going into it. That's kind of a fear I had going into this is that you might not be able to enjoy it because of that. But also, I know you, and I you can get over it
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm better than that.
because, like you said, you've been reading Homestuck, which is
I am a big
a rough
fan.
example of different times.
Some of this
But
early
anyway,
2000s media is real nasty, and
yeah,
I and it entertains me nonetheless.
yeah, that's the thing is you just have to be willing to get past it. Okay, so I'm gonna be really honest with you. When I said what did you think, I didn't mean for you to start specifics. I meant like just
Oh,
general. But
whoopsie.
since it's too late, we're just gonna start that now.
Yeah, I think that was
So
like every single one of them.
in general, what did you think?
It was good. I liked it. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to when we watch the next one.
yeah. That's the main thing. Is it's gonna be it's gonna I think it's just gonna be a good time. I think sometimes you just enjoy you try to like new things, and more often than not it takes a little bit of convincing, but more often than not you are pretty willing to partake in new things, and this is one of those things that you are like, yeah, like it wasn't even the fucking watching it that you had an issue with. It was the fact that I wanted to do a podcast.
Yeah,
And I had to convince you of the podcast more than I had to convince you of the show. But now here we technically about just stuff I like, but you know,
I did not know
and
that
who knows?
until we started.
In yeah. Well, if I would have told you, you would have. You know what I always say, Stevie. My classic catchphrase. You can't, or my classic wisdom. You can't see every side of a shape.
Yeah.
Which isn't from How I Met Your Mother. That's a Blue original.
Wow.
That's the rule I live by, and you should live by it too.
Okay. I think they
This is
just
so
invented
related. My
that phrase
dog.
because they know that I like shapes.
Pretty much. But anyway, um, yeah, it's good. It's a lot of fun. I think even if you don't really get into the conceit of it, even if there will be times where you're like, okay, this isn't even. He's not talking about how he met their mother, you know.
Yeah,
But even if you forget that that is what the show is supposed to be about, it's still really good. It still holds up.
true.
Because really, it's one of those things where it's not about the journey. It's about well, hold on. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Yeah.
Um, and this is one of those shows where we're taking a journey,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a long ass fucking journey.
It's gonna go places.
It is. You're gonna I'd like to think you're gonna get attached to these characters. You're gonna laugh with them. You're gonna cry with them.
I think so too. I'm
You're
like getting
gonna
there already.
say mildly racist things to the with them. But it's like I always say, Stevie, Lebanese is the new half Asian.
You do always say that.
I always say that, Stevie. Stupid. Oh man. But okay. Here's a question. Is there anything that you disliked or you think just general negatives, unless you have more positives? If you have more positive things to say, let's do those first.
I don't think I have anything negative aside from what I've already said.
Just like the vague racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that we said before recording is there's a lot of like you'll see when we get there. It's
Oh
the first
boy.
episode. It's the pilot. You barely know the characters. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's really about
I suppose a
just
negative I
waiting.
could say is I don't really know like Lily's deal aside from just being Marshall's fiance.
Yeah,
Like right before
but
we
then
started, Blue sort of quizzed me on like
yeah,
Ted,
yeah, yeah.
who's that guy? And I was like, he's the main guy. What's his deal? Oh, he's a hopeless romantic. He wants to start a family and get a girlfriend first. Uh
What's his job?
oh, architect.
Mhm, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because he told me.
Yeah. And then we got to Lily, and he was like, I don't actually know Lily's deal. That's the thing, in the beginning there wasn't, a lot of them you couldn't pause. Um,
You're cutting out a bit.
but as we continue, because this is the beginning, you can't really see their deals yet.
Yeah.
Pause. Bad phrasing.
What?
You can't see their deals.
Yeah. You can't see their deals.
Slang is deal is slang for penis and also balls.
Is it?
Yeah,
I haven't heard that one before.
yeah.
Huh.
If someone ever offers to show you their deal, that's a good rule for life. Dear viewers, if anyone ever offers to show you their deal, say yes. It's a good time. Just kidding,
Oh
just kidding, just kidding.
boy.
My dad's gonna watch it.
Oh no.
Hey, Dad.
Hi, Blue's dad.
uh, but yeah, this show, for all it's good. And you know what? Yeah, here's a negative for me. Rare. Not really. I criticize the things I love all the time.
Hooray.
Stevie, you're kind of on the receiving end of this a lot. Is I'm very critical of the things that I like. Uh, but also all I talk about is what I like. So like, my thing is if you love something, you have to be willing to see its flaws. You know,
Yeah.
which is a lesson that I learned from a certain TV show.
Oh boy.
But we're not there yet. So, but one thing that the show kind of excels in is you gotta wait. You're gonna wait. Something happened. Oh, payoff is next time. You know,
I mean, the whole
Ted's in a
premise.
new relation. Yeah, the whole premise is a lot of wait and see. But in some ways, that makes it even better.
Yeah.
You know, like it wouldn't be as interesting if he just told you the mother was here. We met this way, because there's so much to build up to that. You have to see the context. And Stevie, uh, I tell you a lot of stories. I think you can attest to that.
Yeah.
And sometimes those stories take a lot, and I mean a lot, of context. And let's just say I got that from a certain storytelling architect.
Wow.
Oh man. But think about it, Stevie. One day you'll be in the story of how of that.
You cut out what'd you say?
You're gonna be the best friend character when I tell my kids how I met their mother.
Oh my god.
My friend Stevie, who is a virgin,
Oh.
was not proposing to anybody, and I met her at a bar. The end. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean it's a lot of wait and see, and we're kind of in the wait part,
Yep.
especially with it being the first episode. This is it's barely a premise, you know. You have the premise. It's the thesis. You can't read. No one's jumping in at the midway point because it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
Um, so wait and see, and I'm sure when we finally see, it's a big payoff. And let me tell you, when you meet the mother, you'll love it.
Oh my god. Can't wait.
It's gonna be legend. Wait for it. Anyway,
Oh.
so do you have any other thoughts
One day you'll say
before we?
dairy.
Do you have any other thoughts before we continue?
I don't think so.
So let's talk a bit about the characters more.
Okay.
Um, so really, the only one we get context on is Ted in this episode. But also, it's it's Ted's fucking story.
Yeah.
I guess here lies the question. What do you think of Ted?
Oh, uh, he's all right. Kind of basic, but you know,
Yeah,
that's just how it just sort of makes sense.
to be fair, I mean, think about the alternatives for the who the protagonist would be.
Yeah.
Actually, they're showing Barney would be awesome. Never mind,
Yeah.
that guy's awesome. You don't get
Yeah.
that reference yet, but you will.
Oh, okay. I see him getting up to some hijinks and
What?
shenanigans. Barney getting up to
You think?
hijinks and shenanigans.
Oh, he gets into some hijinks. Some of the and I cannot say I do not say this with a hint of irony. Some of the most heart-wrenching parts of this show are Barney.
Ooh.
You'll see. They'll all see.
Whoa.
Don't come to podcast tomorrow. I can't make that joke. Jesus Christ. Um. So I mean, yeah, Ted is very basic, but that's kind of the point. He's an everyman. I don't know.
You cut out?
Do you know what an everyman is?
I think I understand it.
Yeah, it's basically it's a character who everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
And Ted is that for the sake of the story. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he is the one that we are supposed to relate to. Like, yeah, Barney's getting into some hijinks, but when's the last time you went to laser tag?
While.
I know. Oh man, that's what we should do on in Ohio.
Oh my god. We
Stevie,
got.
you better suit up.
Huh.
Suit up. That's another thing is I think you'll really like Barney because he just has like a lot of catchphrases and shit.
Yeah.
I think as we continue, you will notice how much of this show has shaped the person I am.
Oh
With like the
boy.
catchphrases and the I don't know. I think you'll see. But yeah, Ted, he's very basic, but you're supposed to relate to him. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be able to look at this guy and go, "Hey, he's down on his luck. Um he's down on his luck. He has trouble with love. He's trying to make his day in a typical world like you know, the other characters are also very average, but Ted is kind of he's the one that you can root for the most sometimes.
Yeah.
If you well, Marshall is also a pretty prime example of a character that you just can't help but root for, but you'll see that more later. Um, and
How
and so it's
exciting.
really what
How exciting.
um the others though, you'll see. I really can't say anything. You'll see, but you could root for all of them. Well, I mean, they all have their moments. You'll see. I can't say anything yet. That's the thing.
I kind of don't
How
want
long?
Barney to score a Lebanese woman because she should be living her own life.
Do you think that that's like his
No.
art?
No.
Do you think that's going to be his like one-armed man? Is
I'm
he
just
he just
saying
wants to?
that's not what I'm rooting for.
Okay. Well, well, good news. As far as I can
Yeah.
remember, he does not score a Lebanese woman, or does he?
Whoa.
Anyway, um, is he? How long has this episode gone on for?
We're on 45 minutes.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty good.
You think we're
So,
done?
any last thoughts?
Uh, good show. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I
A
mean,
rather entertaining show.
yeah, you're entertained. That's all it's supposed to do.
Yep.
So one question, and this might be the only time, but I might ask it when we get to the end.
Oh.
Would you recommend How I Met Your Mother to someone? Like okay, so for context for our listeners, you know who you are. Me and Stevie are in a server with people that are like-minded to Stevie. It's the server for Stevie's YouTube channel, and the people there are like him. I hang out with other people because I'm awesome. Uh, but let's say you somebody there asked you for a recommendation for a TV show. Would you recommend How I Met Your Mother?
Um, I don't know. I don't recommend TV shows often, regardless, even the ones that I think are really good. Well, that's not
Okay,
true.
let's
The
say
ones that I
somebody
think are really
asked
good, I
you.
do, but
Let's say somebody asked you for a recommendation. Would you recommend How I Met Your Mother?
I don't think so. But that's just more of a me thing.
Okay. Okay. Let's say somebody asked you to recommend them a sitcom.
Oh, yes.
Very specifically, they wanted you to recommend them a sitcom. Would you recommend How I Met Your Mother?
Yes. But then
Okay.
again, it's the only sitcom I know of right now because all the other shit I watched as a kid, I just don't remember anything about. I apologize that your question doesn't really work on me.
God damn. Stevie, can you can you just once be cool? God damn it, you don't get that reference. Stevie, can you just once be cool? Just once. Please.
Everybody, you should watch How I Met Your Mother.
But yeah, like would you just in a general, I don't need logic. I don't need your reasoning behind it if it's a no. But like if somebody asked you for a recommendation, just generally, would you recommend How I Met Your Mother?
Sure.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what the
Just
right
once
answer
be
is
cool.
according to what I think.
Jesus. Ted, just this once be cool. You don't get this reference. Fuck.
I can only
We gotta get.
assume.
Yeah, you'll see. They'll all see. I gotta stop saying that. That's so threatening. They'll all see, Stevie.
What is blue without a little
Anyway,
bit of threatening?
not not really blue. Let's be real. Oh man. So yeah, that is the first episode where of I'm gonna teach you how to live. Yeah. Uh, what do you think? This is the first time Stevie has been on a podcast, to the best of my knowledge,
Yeah, I think
and it's
so.
definitely the first time that he has been an official co-host of a podcast. So what do you think? Are
Uh,
you excited to continue?
yeah.
Yeah. You don't sound very convinced, but I'll take it. Well, I guess that's it. Any last thoughts, Stevie?
Um, I have no last squirms.
Don't, God, Jesus Christ. Just those ones be cool. You don't get that reference. I'm so pissed that you don't get that reference. We're
Yeah,
watching all of How I
okay.
Met Your Mother right now
Oh no.
and recording. But by the way, there's 209 episodes. So
209-hour long podcasts.
Stevie, I'm gonna teach you how to, and it's gonna be legend. Wait for it. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching, everybody. I can tell it's pissing him off so much.
No,
He's stewing in his rage.
no, nuh-uh.
Yo.
I'm neutral.
Dairy. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you. I told you. I told you. So if you enjoyed the first episode of this here podcast, we're going to be doing it at least weekly. There may be times where we record more, just for fun, but it's going to at least be weekly. Um, if you enjoyed it, uh, make sure that you subscribe to this account. We're not gonna make a special account for the podcast because both of us are way too lazy for that shit. But uh, that one is just straight up laziness. But also, who cares?
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of this here first episode. Give us your thoughts. Um, if you enjoyed it, awesome. If you want to find Stevie, where can they find you?
Uh, funky.s on YouTube and funky.s.art on Instagram. That's all.
And on Tumblr, but you got to find that one yourself.
Don't don't search for my Tumblr.
Don't search for his Tumblr. DM me though, and I'll give it to you.
No.
I won't. Wink,
Okay.
wink.
SMH.
I feel like you're not hearing the winks. That's
No, I
upsetting.
am. I'm just
Okay.
choosing to ignore them.
Ah man, my power. Anyway, um, yeah. If you enjoyed, try, feel free to follow. Uh, I don't really put out a lot of content on this channel, but in the future, this is where the show is going to be. So if you want to see more of the show, you're gonna have to subscribe. Haha.
Well,
Um, and then go subscribe to the Funkus channel. He puts out, well, he does music sometimes. Also, sometimes we stream on there. It's me and him. We play games. Currently, we're playing Undertale, so go check that out. Um, I think that's it.
all right.
So thank you so much for listening in, and we will talk to you next time, or see you next time. You'll hear us next time. We'll be around
Yeah.
later. Goodbye.
Bye,
Say goodbye,
chat.
Steve.
I mean
Bye.
YouTube.